Okay, welcome everyone. So we will begin with the next session. Next session topic is impact of agile mindset in agile organization. This session is by ML. Uh, Before starting the session, I would like to thank the founding sponsor, Innovation Roots. It is a leading consulting and training service provider helping organizations to achieve business agility and beyond. It is one of the leaders and pioneers of niche publishing services and well known for content collaboration with global thought leaders, authors, and creators. For more details, please visit the www.innovationroots.com. The don'ts. By now, you must have been very much aware of it. Please be 5 minutes before the start time. Use high quality speakers and headphones for better sound quality. Please keep your microphones muted and video disabled. Questions will be taken via chat box. Please add your questions to the chat box. Okay, facilitators will help you to read out the questions. Few questions as per the time availability. Please fill the feedback form after the event. That will help us to understand more about the event management. We appreciate your cooperation. With this, I would like to invite ML. ML, please, over to you. We would request you to introduce yourself and I'm making you a presenter.
Yeah, thank you. You are great. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon again. I'm Emel Daloğlu. But before introducing myself, in order to make our session more effective, I would like to call you to Menti in order to have a collaborative session together, because I am now here as a speaker role, but I would like to be at learner side also, is also aligned with the agile mindset. And could you please join me from Menti by using the code shown in the screen, and also you can also access through the QR code. If you would like to also use your computer for the Menti, I am also sharing the link at the chat. Sorry, I'm trying to share it in the chat.
I'm sharing it for you.
Yeah, thank you, Prashant. Yes, I would like to check. Whether everybody is here. Yeah. This quote from Goethe is the one I think that very well explains the agile mindset. If you would like to see the people in a manner, what would you like to see? You need to treat the people like that. If you will treat the people in order to give them an authority and autonomy, then the people will, for example, will have the autonomy within the team. As a leader, you need to approach accordingly, and that is why I think that this quote is explaining the agile mindset very well. And I am usually using this quote in my trainings and also speeches. At the end, coming to myself, as mentioned, I am Emel Daloğlu. First of all, I'm a learning mom with 2 children. My daughter is 18 and my son is 16. And I have seen myself as a learner, lifelong learner since that time. And I'm an agile and design thinking enthusiast since 4 or 5 years. And before that, I have worked as a supply chain professional in different roles, as planning manager, logistics manager, and also the project manager in the automotive industry. And before that, I have also experience as an IT professional before the automotive industry, in the chemical industry. And since 2 years, I am acting as an agile transformation coach, because as my company has decided to start an agile transformation just ahead of year 2020. And I decided that I need to have a role within this transformation as a servant leader. And I'm also a professional coach and mentor. I like I like coaching and mentoring people, especially as in volunteer projects. And also I am a corporate mentor since 8 years in my company. I'm also interested in digital transformation and the organizational behavior, and of course the organizational culture. I thought that that is why I have decided to take a role during this agile transformation 2 years before. And also as a hobby, I am applying empiricism also in gastronomy. I like trying different tastes and foods also. And I thought that as a food is also an important element of the cultures. For example, the Indian foods, the street foods, also is an important element of the Indian culture. And coming to our subjects, I also would like to know about you. I introduce myself. I am. I would like to know about your role, because I would like to be also agile in my speech in order to tell about my experiences, and also give some clues about my agile journey. I also would like to adapt my messages and presentation accordingly. Who are you? Yes, we have Scrum and Kanban masters, team members and developers, agile leaders. Okay. Yes. And where are you from? Which region of the India? Bangalore, Mumbai, Turkey. Great. Good. Yes. Thank you. What's the next one? Indore. Yes, I'm going to. We're gonna talk today about agile mindset. But agile mindset matches with a different word or any object, etc. For example, if you would like to explain agile mindset only with one word, what would you like to mention about it? What would you call agile mindset? Adaptable, consistency, nimble, value driven. Good. Yes, let's start to talk about it a little bit about agile mindset. In some documents or essays, etc., we have seen some standard definitions about the agile mindset. I will also come to my definition, which I called it is simple. That as you mentioned, agile mindset totally stands on adaptability and adapting to change. Also, the consistency with the value is also important. As you mentioned, agile. If you have you are having an agile mindset, you also be nimble, and also the world is changing. Everything is changing. You need to be flexible. That is the most important of the agile mindset. And so here, upon agile mindset, I also would like to learn your target takeaways from this session before coming to my definition about the agile mindset. What would you like to put in your pockets from this session today? Because I have prepared something for you as a takeaway, but I also would like to learn whether you would like to have different takeaways. At the end, you are the customer for today. How to transform. Yes. Anything else? How experienced people can unlearn. Good. I'm waiting if we have more. And then I'm gonna adapt accordingly. Yeah. I'm proceeding now. Yes, coming to my definition about the agile mindset. From my point of view, agile mindset is all about human and the behavior. Because in order to decide about something, whether it is proper or aligned with the agile mindset, etc., I always make a recheck as a compass. Whether it is related with the human or not, whether it is humanistic or not. And I also make a cross check whether it is in line with the required behavioral styles in order to be agile. And I also define agile mindset, as you mentioned, as a also sometimes to make an unlearn a lifelong learning, because in order to learn something new you also need to make something you need to also unlearn something at the same time. Otherwise you will stick on the same mindset, the same behaviors, which will not be aligned with the changing environment. Also, the most important thing is the encouragement and also the building trust and building consistency, having consistency with the words and also your acts and behaviors. Encouragement is not only with yourself, also with the people that you are communicating with. If you are an agile leader, you need to encourage the people working with you in order to try different things and also adapt to the change. I will also come to the essence of the agile leadership also in the upcoming slides. This is my definition about agile mindset, and I am using it in an effective manner in my agile transformation journey while interacting with the leaders or the people, team members, or the people with different roles in the Agile organization. And how long have you been in the agility world? I also would like to know about that. Because we have experienced different things during the first year of our agile transformation, and also we have also get some experiences from the people that are having longer years in agility. Yes, mainly within 1 to 3 years, 3 to 5 years, 5 to 10 years. Thank you for this information. Yes, and nowadays, what are your biggest pain points in agile transformation? Could you please also tell about it? While you are making comments, I also would like to tell you about the pain points that I have observed while acting as an agile coach in the agile transformation. I think the most important one is the alignment. I think if you have a missing alignment within the company teams or between the stakeholders, then you couldn't be able to proceed to your target, or you couldn't be able to make an achievement at this stage. Because alignment also means building trust within the team, also within the organization. Again, I'm also seeing misalignment here. Yes, middle management. As we all know, aligning with the senior management isn't enough. You also need to be aligned with the middle management. Resistance to change. Of course, we will also come to why people resist to change, while the employees in the organization resist to change, or why the middle management resist to change. Yes, good. As mentioned, while trying to transform something within the organization, you sometimes having difficulty in communicating with some specific roles. It might be sometimes customers, it might be sometimes stakeholders, it might be something team members. What are those roles? Yes, team members and customers. Yes, mostly team members. Yes, let's proceed one by one about it. Yes, customers are the important element of, at the end, agile, because you need to keep them always in the focus. But at the end, customer is the customer. Okay. We also need to be adapt to our customers, and we need to also change our messages in line with our customers' needs or requirements. For example, we have also observed those sort of complaints in our organization also. That is why we have also focused to customer experience, also customer centricity, and also how we have decided to work on how we could be able to establish a customer centric mindset in the agile teams. We are aiming to establish platforms in order to generate touch points with the customer, in order to understand them more effectively. For example, design thinking is also a useful tool that you can use in order to your customer. As mentioned while introducing myself, I am also a design thinking coach. I observed that some teams that are struggling to understand the customers and having issues with communicating the customers. When we applied some workshops, sessions, etc., for some specific problems, in order to apply design thinking approach, we had really great outcomes from those workshops, both for our customers, both for our teams. And the second one, it isn't exist here, the stakeholders. I think some teams are also might have some difficulties in order to align with the stakeholders sometimes. As you all know, stakeholder is not a defined role, for example, in the Scrum Guide. But from my point of view, I always thought that stakeholder need to be also a defined role in the Scrum Guide also, because when the teams don't have an opportunity in order to touch with the real customers, the only role that they could be able to get feedback would be the stakeholders at the end. So if the stakeholders are at agile mindset and if they could be able to contribute to the outcomes of the team, and also if they are giving them valuable feedbacks, this is totally affects the motivation and also the performance of the team also. Team members, yes, a good point. The environment within the team is really the important thing while you are having an agile structure within your company, because everybody stands on the trust. I don't know whether you have had chance to read the book of Patrick Lencioni, which is called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. There is a great chart showing in this book like a triangle, and at the bottom of the triangle, at the baseline, trust stands there. That is why if we are having any issue within the team, at that time, for example, as agile coaches, we always look to the team dynamics, because other things, whether they are applying Kanban or Scrum in a right manner, etc., those are the tools at the end. First of all, the team dynamics is important. I will check whether they are working in a fun manner besides working together. As mentioned, whether they are having trust within the team. How about the retrospectives events? Is the team feeling psychological safety in order to give valuable feedbacks to each other? Those are the critical elements that we need to focus on. The teams as Scrum Masters, Agile coaches, of course, as Agile leaders also. The Agile leaders can also easily observe the team dynamics while meeting with them during the sprint reviews, etc. So I think having a good team agreement and also having a psychological safety environment within the team is important. If the team couldn't be able to interact with each other, communicate with each other effectively, they couldn't be able to perform very well. Yes. Maybe you have also seen this quote before. Steve Jobs has mentioned that great things in business are never done by one person. They are done by a team of people. As you know, if you are working in a traditional culture or company, every success story easily can be written on one person. But of course, they are done by a team in reality. And we like assigning some people as a heroic leader if there is a success available in the organization, assuming that we call one guy as a great surgeon, but at the end, this surgeon is making the surgeries not by himself or herself at the end. There is also a team next to the surgeon also, and they are having the success together. And this is also the critical thing that we need to also call the great things by the teams, not only one person. And if we will come about come to the leaders. Before the essence of the agile leadership, I think it is good to also review why leaders afraid about the change. I think most critical thing is the organizational culture. If your culture isn't aligned with the agile mindset, you couldn't be able to have chance to proceed properly in order to adopt agile way of working in your organization. So first of all, you need to adjust your organizational culture before deciding to the agile transformation. Lack of awareness. If you will not proceed aligned with your leaders, you couldn't be able to be successful within your agile transformation. If they couldn't be, if you weren't informed, you didn't inform them very well about the aim of the change, then they will afraid about the change. And also they will not give buy-in to the agile transformation or the change, because they need to be aware about whether how it will affect their short-term results. At the end, we are working with OKRs, scorecards, etc., and we are all professionals. And also, as mentioned, if there is a misalignment about the goals and the incentives that they're gonna get with this change, they will also, of course, afraid about the change. At the end, this is though we are all human. And also, finally, the managing the people side of the change is also another item that the leaders are also afraid about. At last, the change is affecting everybody in the organization, and the people are touching with their leaders at the first step, and they need to also align with them about the aim of the change and what is in it for them. So sometimes they will fear about having discussion with the people about this change. That is why also leaders afraid about the change. And on the other hand, of course, we also talked about why employees are afraid about the change. Again, lack of awareness is important. And if you would like to make a change in the organization, as the first step, you need to create an awareness about it. The desire will come afterwards. Knowledge and also capabilities will be the third or fourth step. But sometimes while we are trying to make an agile transformation, initially we will start trainings, etc., etc. Of course, trainings is also an enabler about it, but before that, before those trainings, etc., you need to create an awareness in the organization that you would like to make start a change, and what are the outcomes of the change, what are your targets, how it is linked with your company's vision, etc., are the critical communications that you need to create with your employees. And changes in the role is also important. When a change will come, everybody start to think about what gonna be my role with this change. I will stay as a manager also, or I will be in a different role. This is the biggest question in people's mind in order to keep their positions, salaries, etc. And fear about the previous experiences. Of course, changes not once a time. If the world is changing and the organizations need to adapt and change accordingly, if the organization has some are having some bad experiences, previous experiences about the change, they will they might have fears about it. And at this stage, you need to share those previous bad experiences honestly with the organization. Sharing the failure in the organization in an honest manner is really a valuable thing. You can mention that, yes, we have done we have done a mistake. And now we are aware about our mistakes that we have done before, and we will take them into consideration during this change also. And sharing those sort of things will also help the employees to feel themselves comfortable during this change. And the lack of support from leadership is also makes people afraid from the change. They also would like to see this, to see that the leadership is also affecting, supporting this change, and they will help them, support them as a servant leader during this change. And lack of inclusion is another critical element. Please don't think that the transformation will be done behind of the closed doors. We need to include our employees in the change, because inclusion is the first element of the psychological safety. And then we will come to the essence of the agile leadership. I have summarized it in 9 steps. As mentioned in previous slides, building trust and excitement is really critical. How you can do it? You can share the company's or your vision with your team or the organization if you are a CEO, etc. And by that way, the people in your organization will also make a cross check whether this vision is also aligned with their vision. Because otherwise, if there is a misalignment with the people's vision and the company's vision, then you couldn't be able to keep those people in your organization. And the second one is the servant and supportive leadership. In traditional organizations, especially the leaders might think that the teams will serve to me. No, if you need to be an agile leader, having an agile mindset, you also need to serve the organization and support them when they have faced with the impediment. Mental and emotional agility also having empathy to the teams is also one of the essence of the agile leadership. As you mentioned in your feedbacks, adaptability, flexibility, and getting out from the comfort zone is also the critical competencies of the agile leadership. As mentioned, tolerance to failure and learning from them, leading by example. If you would like to see your organization be customer centric, first of all, as a leader, you need to be a customer centric. Otherwise, by saying them, you need to be a customer centric, it wouldn't be enough. Also, keeping the focus and the prioritization is also so important, because some urgent requests coming from the senior leadership to the teams, also disturbing the team focuses, and team also teams are complaining about it. And in line with that, you need to create a workplace environment with fun. Everything is not the job, everything is not the success at the end. As agile leaders, you need to be aware about the team dynamics, the thoughts about the teams, etc. And finally, building trust and consistency is another critical element. As mentioned, the words need to be matched with the behaviors that you have done. Yes, I would like to ask you one more question also. Just changing your organization is enough upon agile, or there is any other partners who need to contribute in order to make it happen? What is your view about it? I have also some experiences that I would like to share with you about it, but before that, I would like to learn what sort of issues you are having. Yes, in order to use the time effectively, I'm continuing. Especially if your organization is in a specific manufacturing industry, etc. You need to care about the also the supply chain ecosystem. Of course, there is not a right solution. Yeah, exactly. But you couldn't be able to do everything by your own. If you can be you can apply a great agile mindset, or you can generate a great agile organization within your company. But of course, in line with that, you need to also create an agile environment with your dealers, with your suppliers, with your partners. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. And also the governance model is also so important. Putting some boxes, etc., will not work if you couldn't be able to define how those teams will work together. What should be the governance model between each other? Then the system will not work, and you couldn't be able to create any value to your customers. And when we come to the enablers of the agile mindset, what is your opinion about it? What are the enablers of the agile mindset? Yes, I think there is only one thing here. of course, continuous learning, collaboration, and I think the most critical one is the agile leadership in the agile. If the agile leaders will show the agile mindset approach within the organization and be a role model to the teams, as mentioned, creating a continuous learning environment, and of course will also show them how he or she collaborates with other leaders. Then the teams also will start to collaborate with each other. As mentioned, the synergy is important. The teams need to work in a harmony together at the end. Giving feedbacks is also important. Mentoring is, peer coaching is exactly important. And as I mentioned also, the senior management support is important. If you would like to enable the agile transformation in your organization. Yes.
Thanks a lot, Emil. Yeah, I do. It was really insightful and with more clarity. Let's see what questions we have. And
Yeah.
guys, if you have any questions, please post it. We have another 10 minutes, 8 minutes for that. As
Yeah.
of now, we have two questions. One from Raghupati. Yes, senior members who feel they know everything are not ready to take feedback. How will you deal with such people?
Yeah. Good questions. I think this is not something that you could be able to achieve by only trainings, etc. I think the coaching program at senior management level would be valuable under those circumstances. If you have enough experienced coaches within your organization, for example, you can match those senior leaders with agile coaches also, in order to match them as comrades during this transformation. They can give mentoring to them or coach them for specific items. And they also, he or she creates some facilitation activities in order to give feedback to them also.
True, true. But as you were telling your telling the answer, I was just thinking actually most of the companies you can see project managers. I think the second question is also very much related to that. Project managers start playing the role of a coach, but is that actually really means how successful they are? And I think it is in line with the second question. Can project managers with 20 plus years experience, can they transform into coach? If so, what steps they need to follow? And do they
Of
justify the role? That is what I would like to add that.
Of course, as a first step, they need to decide that they are not a project manager anymore. I can say that upon my experience, as I mentioned, I have worked as a supply chain professional more than 20 years. And within this 20 years, my role was at managerial role during 15 years at the end. And why I have decided to be an agile coach, I decided to transform to that role. Otherwise, just changing my title from project manager to a coach will not work at the end. That is why, first of all, you need to also check carefully whether those people can act accordingly like a coach. If they are not capable enough, and if you need to also improve their competencies, etc., you need to support them via mentoring, coaching, training. For example, for the middle managers, the coachings will not be limited with the executive leadership. At the end, those executive leaderships touches only with the middle managers. The critical element is the team members, the other employees in the organization. The middle managers also coach their employees. At the end, they need to touch those people. Just having great results in the financial will not be enough, and it won't be sustainable at the end if you are not touching the people well enough or coaching them properly.
Yeah, true. But the that's what they have been actually been command and control mode for so many years. How easy is it for them to unlearn that? But is
Yeah.
it easy for them to unlearn that particular?
Of course, it won't be easy. I think the change will not happen always from top to bottom, Prashant. Sometimes it will act from bottom to top also. That is why I think as agile coaches, one of our mission is also to encourage the team members also in order to transform those people. That is why, for example, in my teams, I am always mentioning to team members that please, if during the sprint reviews, the stakeholders are requesting from you some invaluable things, okay, please give feedback then accordingly. This is not valuable to our customers, okay? Sorry, we couldn't be able to accept it, but in order to support you also, we can do it accordingly. Because in a traditional organization, none of the managers are familiar with those sort of answers. This will also create those environment. For example, another question maybe in your mind. Of course, team member has mentioned about it, and the manager act or responded in a negative manner. Then the role of the agile coach will come to the stage, and the coach need to give feedback to the stakeholders or the managers in order to correct their behaviors.
True, true. So there is one thing from Subramaniam. Please brief how an agile transformation can be done at safe following organizations, as it is a very tedious job. I felt one way to coach Scrum Masters, but if they fail, what shall be the approach of handling this issue? By Subramaniam.
Yeah. Again, another good question. In SAFe, everything is so definite. There is also a hierarchical stages in the SAFe also. Sometimes I call SAFe is not safe because you are keeping the all hierarchy in your organization, and you are saying that I would like to adopt agile in my organization. At this stage, the Scrum Masters competencies would become so critical if you are applying SAFe. And in order to improve the competencies of our Scrum Master, I think having certification, etc., will not be enough. By reading the Scrum guides, etc., and also reviewing lots of questions will be enough to get the certification at the end. First of all, you need to work with your Scrum Masters closely, case by case. That is why, for example, I am having regular one-on-ones with my product owners, with my Scrum Masters. I am observing them during their activities. And if I observe anything they need to correct and they need to work on it, okay, I am also giving mentoring them, coaching them about also. If we are working in a SAFe framework, I advise you to make regular one-on-ones with your Scrum Masters, and also review some cases together in order to mentor them, coach them.
Right. And to add to that, I think again here also, as you mentioned earlier, enterprise agile coaches make a huge difference because coaching is required at all levels, in fact, and that
Mhm.
they amalgamating all the scrum masters together should give a little bit relief because at the safe level, no, we can't commit because it's really a huge waste. To thanks a lot, Emil. Thanks for your insightful session. With I hope all the our participants have had a good takeaways from this particular session.